Hi everyone and welcome to a new vlog on the channel. It's gonna be a weekly vlog and actually the one and only weekly vlog I'm gonna be able to film this November. I wanted to film more, but honestly November just flew by and I just didn't have time to film more vlogs this month, so very sorry about that, guys. So anyway, welcome back. Today is Sunday. As you saw, my husband and I had our regular Sunday morning routine. We went to the cafe, we spent time together just reading books. I really enjoyed my reading time this morning. I was reading this nonfiction essay book which I bought when I did my Japanese book home library renewal in September, which is なぜ働いていると本が読めなくなるのか. So why do we stop reading books when we work, when we start working? And so far it's really interesting. My husband actually read it in between, so he read it before me and he gave it a 5-star. So I have pretty high hopes for it, pretty high expectations. He did say that, not all of it was exceptional, but definitely the first part is exceptional, and I can definitely agree on that. Before starting to explain her argument about why we generally tend to stop reading when we start working, the author gives quite an interesting background on history, Japan's history in fact, and also the history of salarymen in Japan. And that's really interesting. It has deeper layers than I thought it would. So I'm happily surprised. And then the second book I was reading this morning when we reached the restaurant and we were waiting for our food was Kokoro by Natsume Soseki. I'm finally reading Kokoro, so it's a long time coming and I'll talk to you more about it probably another time. Don't worry about it, you'll have my thoughts. And then last update for this morning, last but not least, I actually finally got this beautiful version of I Am a Cat by Natsume Soseki when we went to Book Off earlier, and I'm super happy because actually I've seen this online and it was super expensive, I think on Amazon Japan, and I thought, okay, well, that's an edition I will never be able to get my hands on, and turns out I found it at Book Off today, so I'm really happy. They call this the Waidoban right here, and as you can see it's super thick like this, and I mean the writing is not that big, it's really just the format of the book itself that is quite wide indeed. I love it, look at that, it's perfect. I'm not sure I'll be reading this right after I finish Kokoro, but I'm very happy to add it to my home library. That's definitely a book I wanted to have in my home library, so there you go. And actually, guys, it's now 1 p.m. in the afternoon. I'm actually not going to study right away today. I am going to spend some time just organizing things and planning things out for the rest of the year, the end of the year and then the start of next year. So I've been doing that for a few days. It's that time of the year when I can just slow down, reflect on what I've done this year, what's left for me to do, what do I want to do before the end of the year, what can I just end up doing next year, and that in all areas of my life, so personal, professional, and study-wise. So pretty much looking at everything. So, it's taking a while, but I really enjoy this time of the year. It means I can really be present and reflect a lot, and that's really nice. So anyway, because it's Sunday, I'm really going to play it chill today, and then we'll study some more today. I'll see you later. For my Japanese studying at the moment, I'm focusing on academic Japanese actually, and specifically written composition, written essays, and any other form of like academic writing. And so I'm going through this second book in the 留学生の日本語 series, which is about composition. And this is for graduate students or students who wish to go to university in Japan and they want to prepare. And so this series is all about that. And this book in particular, which I'm going through now, is like an exercise book to help you understand how to compose your own essays in Japanese. It's quite useful. So far, so good. The first book in the series was really good. And right now in this book, I'm about to start chapter 5, which is part 2, the first chapter of part 2 of the book. Part 2 is about writing your research proposal if you want to enter into a graduate school. And so, yeah, this first chapter is about, explaining your theme, the theme of your research, the first part of your research proposal. This is very interesting to me because this is one of the things that I'm looking into, to see whether I'm actually qualified or able as a whole to do research. So definitely I'm interested in this kind of stuff. So I'm excited to go through this part then and this chapter. That, Ki-chan, what? Mama is talking to the camera. That wasn't very successful. I had like so much difficulty focusing on my book. It was super crowded at the cafe. I mean, Sunday afternoons, I think it's not a good idea to go to this cafe in particular. Anyway, I did my best. I stayed there for an hour and I think I've read like 15 pages, so it's not a lot at all. I kept on reading the same stuff again and again. It was very interesting though, so I took some notes. But yeah, it was quite difficult to just like really focus. Before I went to the cafe, I went to the bookstore, one of the bookstores that was in the same shopping mall where the cafe was, and I actually treated myself to a second copy of Kokoro. I think it's a new edition as well. This was published 2 years ago, yeah, in June 2022. So it's a new edition with a new cover, and inside there are some pictures of Natsume Soseki, pictures of his writings and like his family and friends, I think, his wife as well, and picture of him when he was a bit older. Other than that, the text is the same as the one that the other book contains. However, I treated myself to this second copy because it's the first fiction book for which I will do some critical reading, and so I will need to take some notes on the book. That's why I needed a second copy. So I need a clean copy just for reading it because I don't want to write anything on it. I just want it to stay clean. So that will be my other copy, the one I'm reading. And this copy is going to be for my notes, annotation, highlighting, post-it notes, all of that. So yeah, that's what I'm going to use it for. It's my first time buying a second copy of a Japanese book ever. I think, if there was one book for which I would want to do this, it would have been this one. 5 p.m. I'm actually going to study some more. I'm going to do some linguistics now because I do need to cover a little bit more of my linguistics course. Well, I could do it next week, but since I still have some energy left, and I'm excited actually to know what the end of this first part is about, the first part of the course. I will do it now. I haven't talked to you about my new linguistics course yet. I'm gonna briefly tell you which one it is. So it is the third online course I'm going through. This one is also about linguistics. It's called Miracles of Human Language, an Introduction to Linguistics. It is on the Coursera.org platform. It is offered by the Leiden University, and I specifically picked this one if you're interested because it's got a full course on phonology and phonetics and syntax and also semantics, and because these are topics that I really wanted to have a a base of knowledge about, I specifically chose this course. And so I just started it last week, so I'm really at the beginning of it, and so far so good. I mean, it's not as entertaining and as let's say interactive and attractive as the other courses that I've gone through on the FutureLearn platform so far, but it may get better with time, so we'll see. Good morning, guys. Happy Monday morning. We are starting the last week of November. And so because within my goals for the month of November, I have the goal of finishing my essay book, 読むだけ小論文. This is what I'm going to start with this morning. So we're going to go to the cafe and I'm really going to try and read as much as I possibly can, because otherwise I'm not going to make it for this goal before the end of the month. That'll be my main focus for this morning. I will not take anything else with me to the cafe so that I'm not distracted. And when we come back from the cafe and later this afternoon, I will write my weekly list. Let's go. So I read the entirety of chapter 7, so that was very successful. And I almost read the entire chapter 8. I only have a few pages left. I'm on page 208. And then I will only have like, I think 3 chapters left after that. And they're actually quite short. So I'm at 82% completion right now. And actually, I'm gonna go read some more at the cafe now, because it's 1:30. We've eaten lunch, of course. I still have energy, and I've got 2 hours in front of me before I need to go to yet another dentist appointment. Let's go study some more. Nico, dématete, mon petit chat. We're coming back later, my baby. Coming back later. Petit bébé. Guys, it's me again. It's 4 p.m. now and I'm back from my dentist appointment. It's time for us to write my weekly study list, so my list of goals for the week. I've already started studying today, but it was just a timing issue. Usually I write my study list before I start studying. Couldn't do it today, so never mind. I've got my study weekly planner here. I'm going to write down the study list for week 48, which started today, and I'm gonna walk you through it while I write it. Right, so I'm gonna start writing on the next page, starting a new page for my list for week 48 of the year, starting on November 25th and ending on, is it going to be the 1st of December? I think it is. Let me check. That's right. On the 1st of December, so until December 1st. Taking my other pens here. And so we're gonna start with Japanese. Alright, so for Japanese, like I said earlier, one of my goals for this week, my main goals, is actually to go through my読むだけ小論文 book. So I'm just going to write 小論文 and a goal for each of the chapters. And then because this is already quite intense for Japanese for 1 week, the other goal I'm gonna write is only to do my listening practice and probably technical. That's all I'm gonna write. Maybe I will write some more goals later during the week, but for now, this is all I think I'll be able to do. So let's go for my goals for Chinese. I am going to continue reading my 中国語でちょっといい話 book. I'm gonna have my lesson with my tutor, and I'm done with my listening practice for the week, but I'm still going to do some more, I think so. And I think that's basically it. I would like to go through the next chapter in my HSK book, but I don't think I'll be able to do it, to be honest with you. I'm gonna write it as a bonus goal, and it's gonna be my HSK 3, so it'll be chapter 13 if I go through it. Alright, and then finally, my linguistics study. I want to do a recap of the 2 courses I have finished, and I wanted to do it last week, but I didn't do it. So I will try and do it this week. It's not urgent, it's just like something I would like to do. And then I do have to go through my new course. So I'm gonna write course number 3. And then I do have an assignment for it, which is due today, in fact. So I will focus on that for this week, and I'm not sure whether I will have another assignment due this week, so I'm gonna write assignment 1, and if I have more due this week, I'll write another goal here for a second assignment. So that's it for the list for this week. If I can finish my Shoronbun book this week, then I will be done with my study goals for November. Here you go, guys. That's it for the weekly study list. Hi guys, it is 12 p.m. and right now we're back home. We just came back and I'm about to do some video editing, but I wanted to do a little update for you guys. This morning I had a rather good study session. It took me a while to focus on my book, so I didn't end up reading that much. I think in total I read like 20 pages, which was an entire chapter, but still only 20 pages. And I actually wanted to do more stuff this morning, but I couldn't do it, so it's fine. There are some days where my ability to focus is just a bit diminished, so I'm just going with the flow. It's not the end of the world. I think it has to do with the fact that yesterday I pushed a little too much, perhaps. I was so excited to study yesterday. In total, I think I studied for about 7 hours. Actually, Sundays and Mondays are my days off at the moment because I work on Saturdays since I'm freelance, and a lot of my clients, my coaching clients in particular, are available on the Saturdays. It means that I can take my weekends from Sundays onwards, and so Mondays are part of my weekend, which is why I can spend that much time on my studying on the Mondays usually. But yesterday was a little bit too much, not gonna lie. Usually I keep it under like maybe 5 hours. I pushed it to 7, so it was a little bit too much, but I felt very energized. Not sure I'll be able to study some more today. We'll see. If I get the energy, I will. I'm gonna stop trying to tell you in advance what I will want to study later, because honestly I don't know. It will depend on my mood, so we'll see whether I want to study again today, and if I do, what do I want to study. We'll see that. You know, that's the good thing about my weekly study lists, because I basically keep on there all of the goals that, you know, the study goals I want to achieve during 1 week. But then when I get into the mood of studying, which is like nowadays multiple times a day because I have more mental space for it. I can just like take my list and pick and choose what I'm in the mood for in the moment. I'm gonna start on my video editing now, guys, so I'll see you later.
Et de l'empathie.
Hi guys, good evening. I have a big smile on my face because I am pretty much done with my day, done with everything that I needed to do. I even completed all of my legal consulting tasks for the week. I usually do them on a Tuesday. It's 8 p.m. right now. I rested for a while and now it is time for us to study Chinese. And I'm very excited today because I am going to be reading the next story in this book, 中国語でちょっといい話. And as it turns out, the next story in this book is actually going to be one of the first stories without pinyin, without space between the words, and without translation. So basically plain text in Mandarin Chinese, and it's going to be my first time reading such text without any aid, any help. So wish me luck. We'll debrief after that, okay? I'm probably gonna struggle like quite a lot. Alright guys, I'm done. So it took me about 15 minutes in total to read the text. And so here it is. It's only one page, but it took me 15 minutes to go through it. It was relatively easy, easier than I thought at least. In terms of comprehension levels, I think I understood about, I want to say 60%. I have a doubt on a few crucial vocab words in there, which really prevent me from reaching like, 80% or 85% comprehension. So that's where I'm at. In terms of highlighting here, I started with highlighting in purple the names of the characters because I always struggle with recognizing character names, people's names in text still. So because it's still difficult for me, I highlight them. So I go through the text like really quickly, not trying to understand the text, just trying to notice where the names are, and I highlight them, and then I read the text trying to understand it. Then while I read the text, I use another highlighter. So this time I use this blue highlighter for the words which I don't know, so the vocab words, or sometimes the succession of some vocab words because I'm not quite sure what they mean, put together. So basically anything I don't understand, I highlight in another color and then I look it up. So I will probably look it up now. And then finally, the last color I used was the green color, and this time to underline some stuff, and I've underlined 2 sentences here, and those are for very common grammar patterns that I want to remember, or things that are crucial for the text, to understand the story. And when I identify those, I underline them. So this is not a science, okay? This is only, the process I'm going through while reading stuff in Chinese at the moment. It's only the natural thing that I do to help me process texts better and faster, and in general, just to aid my own comprehension instead of having just a plain blank text, if that makes sense. Now what I'm going to do is basically look up the words that I don't know, and if I still got the time, I want to try translating this on my own and then checking up the translation. Let's do that now. Alright guys, so I'm out of time now. Ki-chan has been a good little helper as usual. Right, Ki-chan? She's been looking at me the whole time. I think she likes Chinese as well. Right, Ki-chan? You like Chinese. So I've gone up to this word right here. I've looked up all of the other words before that, and so far so good. I mean, I could guess the meaning of those words almost. So I think I understood this text pretty well, at least until that point. So I will continue on this last part tomorrow, and I will also see you guys tomorrow. Good night.
Last year I thought about how things can come around just like that if everyone is here to celebrate one day. We have our ups and downs, but when there's love there's
time. We are Wednesday the 27th of November today, and I'm very happy to report that I finished reading this book this morning during my study session at the cafe. So this was 読むだけ小論文基礎編 Power Up版 by the Gakken Publishing House. It was an amazing book with essays to read to hopefully upgrade your own essay writing skills to then go sit the entrance exams for universities in Japan. And so I went through this book because I was first of all interested in the knowledge that I would get from this kind of book with, a recap of a lot of information on very diverse topics because it ranges from, environmental issues to gender issues, the aging population problem in Japan, human rights, education, global food issues, and in general topics that basically come up at university entrance exams here in Japan. And so I was interested first in the knowledge that was, recapped in this kind of book. Definitely needed sort of an update on what people learn nowadays in high school, towards the end of high school. So that was my first goal. My second goal was, of course, to find hopefully new vocab in Japanese. And I can tell you with confidence that, the vocab that I found in this book was between N2 level of the GLBT and N1 or N1 plus level. So I did learn a few new vocab words, not a lot to be honest with you, but still in total about 20 words. But still, I'm very happy to have found those words because they are very, very helpful words. So I had vocab extraction goal. That was my second goal. And my third goal with reading this book in the first place was to, of course, upgrade my own essays because I do write essays in Japanese to improve my written expression in Japanese and specifically my formal or academic written expression in Japanese. And that's a skill that I was looking to develop this year. And so this book is helping me reach that goal. So that was my third goal. And on top of that, I had sort of a bonus goal, which was to train myself to read aloud texts such as academic essays because I want to be able to read this kind of stuff like aloud or in my head, whatever, but very fluently without any pause, without anything that might indicate that I don't understand the meaning of what I'm reading or that I lack vocabulary. So I also, as a bonus goal, trained myself on that, and that was kind of my first phase of studying using this book. It is done, which means that I completed this goal for this week, and it also means that with this being completed, I'm also done with my last study goal for the month of November, which was to finish my essay book, which was this one, which means that all of my November study goals are now completed. So I am super happy about it. So like I said, this was only the first phase of my studying with this book. I am treating it as a study resource, to use for different purposes. And so during my first phase, like I said, I had 3 to 4 study goals going through it. Now, the second phase is going to be a bit different because I'm going to go through the book again, but with different goals in mind. And I will definitely talk to you guys about it in the future. So stay tuned for that. But for now, I am going to digest the contents. It took me about 2 months to read it entirely, but it was relatively fast since it contains a lot of information, and definitely I want to now be able to digest all of it. So I'm going to be, taking a break from it and going back to it probably at the beginning of next year and then starting on my second phase of studying with this book. And it's now 2 p.m. in the afternoon. We've eaten lunch already, of course, and so I'm about to start working now. I'm gonna do some video editing, and then I have multiple coaching sessions back to back, so I will see you guys later today. Hi guys, good evening, because it's actually already 8:30. I'm about to read in Japanese right now because I actually have a few mangas and comic essays due to be read, and especially I have the new book, the 6th book in the 透明男と人間女 series, which is right here, and I'm so happy to have it finally. Ki-chan is going crazy. I'm so happy to finally have it, guys, because it came out today and I got it today as well because I'm subscribed to the author on Amazon Japan. I got it delivered today and I'm super happy because it means I can finally read it. It looks amazing. I can't wait to know what's happening next. It's a cute little love story between a detective who's invisible and his secretary who actually cannot see. So she doesn't care that he is invisible and they have a very cute love story together. I'm gonna relax while reading it right now. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. We're Thursday the 28th. The end of November is coming very, very, very near. It's actually very stressful. I don't know where 2024 is gone. I'm sure you guys feel the same. So we're gonna play chill today. As you can see, I'm not at the cafe this morning. It is pouring with rain outside. We were absolutely freezing this morning when we woke up. So I'm gonna stay indoors and do my things at home. If things get better with the weather later today, maybe I will go to the cafe this afternoon because exceptionally I don't have coaching sessions this afternoon. And actually I have a coaching session for myself later today. So anyway, I have pretty much the entire day for me, except that in 2 hours, because now it's 8:30, in 2 hours I have my Chinese lesson with my tutor on Cafe Talk. So this morning I'm gonna be focusing on Chinese. I'm cleaning my desk as I'm talking to you. But first I want to quickly study another topic which is unrelated to languages or linguistics. Well, it's related to language, but not language learning per se. I'm gonna be studying a few things about literary analysis in preparation of next year, in fact, when I will start doing critical literary analysis of Japanese texts. But before I can even do that, I need to refresh my memory. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now for about 30 minutes, and then I'll move on to Chinese. So I'll talk to you later. Oh, and also, I think it's because of the cold, but I pulled my neck this morning, so I literally cannot turn my head more than this. And this way, it's even worse. I can't move. So really, that's one of the reasons why I didn't go to the cafe also. Anyway, talk to you later. Right, so guys, now I'm about to study some Chinese before I have my lesson in 40 minutes. I'm gonna study with my book, 中国語でちょっといい話, because if you remember, 2 days ago I started reading this story right here and I just need to finish the last part, so I need to look up the vocab and then translate it on my own and then check my own translation. So if I can do all of that within the next 40 minutes, that will be awesome. So I'm gonna try my best and then I'm gonna have my lesson, so I'll see you afterwards. Hi June. Xiao is the fourth tone. Fan is the fourth tone. Xin, first tone. 因为路上堵车了，所以即将晚了20分钟才到。 We are back home now and it's 4 p.m. It's usually the time of the day where I would actually do some computer work, like, consulting work, coaching work, or YouTube editing. But my back is still hurting me a lot, and honestly, I can't really move. So that's why I was focusing on reading until now. I finished one manga, the 5th book in the Tomei Otoko to Ningen Onna series. Very cutesy, fast to read, easy to read, and I gave it a 3-star rating. And then I started on another manga, this time more of a comic essay, which is called Dobeto Nora, number 2, because I've already read the first book in this series. And the second book came out, I think, 6 months ago, and I still hadn't read it, so I wanted to read it fast. It's about a guy who was previously a hikikomori, and basically he was feeling extremely depressed, and essentially he eventually got a dog, his first dog, a Doberman, and he loved that dog. And thanks to that particular first dog, he basically came out of his depressive state and he got much better. He is much happier with a dog in his life. So it's a very cute, I want to say, inspiring story, and at the same time it's also very funny. So it cracks me up a lot of the time. Some of the skits in there are absolutely wonderful and top notch, and even though I've never owned a dog, the way he pictures, the little events that occur when you own a pet is just perfection. He's a master at it, so it is very, very funny, very quirky, very comical. So anyway, I've read a lot. It's already 4 p.m. and I'm going to do my listening practice now, and then I will have my coaching and I will see you afterwards.
よろしくお願いします。
はい、エンタメ業界に非常に詳しい中野さんに。
ですね、グローバルに見たら結構ありな選択肢で、それからも株と多分ね。
Hi guys, good Friday, happy Friday. It's gonna be the last day I film for this vlog in particular. So we're back home now, and it was actually a very good study session that I had this morning. I did quite a bit of intensive listening practice in Japanese. I also took some notes, so I also did a bit of vocab extraction, technical vocab extraction. And basically for the rest of the day now, I'm gonna be focusing on, first of all, checking and proofreading translation work for my friend. She's been doing some translation work from Japanese to English, and I'm helping her with the checking and the proofreading on that, so I'm gonna be doing that. And then I'm gonna be focusing on video editing for YouTube for you guys, because my video is coming out tomorrow. And finally, I will call one of my friends this evening, so the second time I'll be able to study or read today will be later this evening. So I will talk to you later, guys.
Honey, I got what you want. Give me all of your love, 'cause it's burning hot. It's what you do to me, babe, I can guarantee. Honey, I got what you need. Under the night sky, I want your eyes all on me. Don't tell me lies now, I always get mine. Don't play with me. Do you want it? Can't feel me? No, can you handle it? Right? Do you want
Hi guys, good evening. So it's Friday night right now. We are back home from the restaurant. I actually did my nails earlier. Sorry. I love them. They're Christmas themed, of course. And anyway, I am about to spend a chill evening with my husband. Actually, at the moment we're watching the movie Snowden. Edward Snowden, really wonderful, first time we see it. We're gonna finish watching it tonight. And as for my studying tonight, I think I'm only gonna do some reading. I'm probably going to finish reading the Komikese Dobe Tonora number 2, and then I will call it a day. So on my list, the only thing that I will have left to do this weekend will be on this side of my weekly study list, and this will be all about linguistics. So I'm gonna cover more of my course, the course I'm going through at the moment, which you saw at the beginning of this vlog, and then I'm gonna do my full recap for the last 2 courses I went through on linguistics. And if I still have time, as a bonus, I will do the next chapter, so chapter 13 in my HSK3 book for Mandarin Chinese, and that will be pretty much it for my study week. I think through this vlog you would have a pretty good idea of what my study life looks like at the moment. So I hope that this was interesting and insightful to you, hopefully even inspirational to you for your own language study, of course. If you liked this vlog, please leave me a like, and if you want to tell me anything or just say that you like the vlog, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment. I love reading you guys' comments. If you have any question, of course, let me know in the comments. And in any case, as for me, I will see you in my next video on the channel, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. Mata ne.